Shall we pray? Lord God of the Oakwood Academy class of 1962, their families, loved ones, and friends, here we are, your children, bowed before you, asking for your presence in the events of this evening, as we laugh at the joyful memories and reminisce on the difficult times, and express our gratitude both for the joy and for the tears, dear God. We're grateful for the contribution of those who planned this memorable evening, and most of all, for your abiding presence. This evening, we think of our teachers, the likes of Ashby, Winslow, Dawson, Stafford, Beal, Wade, Meredith, Dean, and our beloved sponsor, the amazing and recently departed Dr. Ernest E. Rogers. These were good people, not perfect, but good-hearted. For them we give thanks. We fondly remember our parents and the other supporters who struggled to make our academy years possible. We pause to reflect on those classmates whose lives were cut short through accident and illness. We think of Matthew, Lynette, Jeanette Trevilian, Dedrick, Louise, Robert, Sharon, Nellie, Valencia, Edward, MC, Carol, Edith. Dear God, they remind us of the fragility of life, and that's why we come to you this evening asking you to fashion us in your image during these final days of our own mortality, where eternity lies in the balance. Lord, please remind Andrew, Flora, Jesse, Doris, James, Valeria, Emerson, Marjorie, Claudette, Liddy, and Orlander of your abundant love and of your amazing grace. And Lord, help Daniel, Tawana, Vallo, Loveland, Valman, Milton, Ruth, Wilda, David, and Donald to never forget the sacrificial love of your Son Jesus, poured out so that they and all the rest of us may have eternal hope during these grand and awful times. So tonight, we're grateful for you that brought us thus far on our way. 60 years is a blink of your eye, just a tiny slither of eternity. Yet, upon this brief time, hinges the destiny of us all. So teach us to number our days and prepare Isaac, Fred, Dolores, Sybil, Philip, George, Teresa, Jeanette, Charles, Doug, Carol Ann, Samuel, Christine, Beatrice, and Balvia, and all the rest of us to be a part of that final graduation class that will live, love, and laugh forever, rejoicing on the sea of glass and proclaiming, "Great and marvelous are thy works, O Lord." Lord, we will have fun tonight, but in all our laughter, may we never forget that if we enjoy life to the full and flunk eternity, we will have made the most tragic mistake of all time.
Yes.
The class of 62, Lord, we give ourselves to you.
Yes.
In his holy name, amen.
Amen. Beautiful.
Amen.
Most eloquently
Yes.
stated.
Let's give a round of applause.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, we are going to act like, I want you all to act like we're having a pep rally. All right, you ready? Give me a 6.
6.
Give me a 2.
2.
Give me a plus.
Plus.
What does that say?
62 plus.
Yes, that means that y'all getting older. So we're just celebrating 62 years of being on this campus. Can you believe that? That was an awesome time as we reflected, as we're going to be talking about later on this evening. But I want us, for those of our class that are not here, wanting to be here, and for different circumstances are not able to join us. I think we counted, there are 13 of us that are here. Don't see Philip yet, but anyway, we have counted at least 13 of us. So what I want us to do is think of a person that is not here, that wish they could be, and we want to give them a shout out. So call their names, okay? So think of the person or persons, and at the count of 3, I want them to hear us on the YouTube that they are looking at us. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Tiffany.
Mama.
B. Williams. Martha Jenkins.
Jenkins, all right.
Annie Ruth
Holmes.
Holmes. All right, that's good. Thank you so much. I want to say this about George Roberson. Even though George, in fact, he and Doris, I found out, they are among the oldest. I think they're the 2 oldest, if I'm not mistaken, in our class. They are at least 80 plus. Wow. And so we just found that out recently. So anyway, but George, he was determined because something happened with him. They thought it was a mild stroke or whatever, but he and Nikki, his wife, were planning to be here. And what happened was that the doctor said, sorry, George, you can't fly. So anyway, George, we want you to know, along with Doris and yourself especially, because of things that happened. In fact, with, I want to say about Beatrice, her daughter's daughter tested positive. And so that eliminated, because her daughter was going to drive her here. And so that's one reason. But there's that's what has happened for some of our classmates. Is Dr. Patterson here? Okay, he's not here. You know, Mrs. Judy Dent, you'll be recognized more, but we want to acknowledge your presence. In fact, some of us, our classmates, were standing there marveling at the way she conducts her leadership here at the academy. And she came, things were, to put it mildly, chaotic in terms of discipline, respect for the teachers and so forth, and she let it be known clearly that this was not going to keep going. And she even said she would stand up and look up in the face of some of those guys who were playing basketball and said, I will beat you. But anyway, let's welcome her as she's come and join us. No. I just want to welcome you here. Her husband, who used to be, and I were at PUC as roommates, Sonny. So we're glad to hear, as well as Bert, and who else of our, that I'm not, Nancy. There you go, Nancy. All right. That's all right. We're thankful for your presence. Greg. The last person I want to, oh, Greg. Greg, you're right there. Okay. I got it. Isaac, and then there's Calvin, and your cousin's wife. What's your name? Tell me your name again. B.
Oh.
B. Huh? B, yes, B. All right then. Anyway, we welcome all of our special guests that are here, and your daughter, Danita. That's all right, very good. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Beta. You know who that is? Y'all know who that is? That's Louise Bell's daughter.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. I see you just like a mother. Yeah. I know you.
I told her, guys, Vita and I talked to each other on the phone the other day, and she started laughing.
Just like
welcome, Philip. You finally got here. We're glad to see you. Okay. All right. But I told Vita she laughed so much like her mother and so forth. But we're just glad that she's joined us here. Anybody that I missed? And my dear friend right here, friends. We'll talk more about Benita shortly. The last person that we want to mention is our favorite math teacher. And we all knew her as what?
Miss Irene. Meredith.
Miss Irene is right. Even though she married and her last name is Bowden, but she is tuning in to us. But there was something, and I want all of y'all, let's say a shout out right now to Miss Meredith. All right. But something I found out about her that she said, Doug, in all of my teaching, in the academy, she said, I never chose to fail anybody. And you know her reason? She wanted them to know that they could achieve. And we know we loved her teaching methods in math. She made math fun. And so we just want to salute her for that commitment, for making us know that we can succeed as we move forward. Even though that geometry and algebra and what was the other thing? Those are two things, right? That worked out. But welcome, class. Glad you're here. We're out here to have some fun tonight.
Sit back and enjoy.
Oakwood College Academy class of 1962. Yeah, I know the current name is Oakwood Adventist Academy, but when y'all were here, it was Oakwood College Academy. So I'll refer to its proper name from here on out, okay? Before we get this slideshow going in full swing, let me remind you of some amazing facts about y'all and this school. Oakwood Adventist Academy, also referred to as Oakwood Academy or OAA, is a Seventh-day Adventist coeducational K-12 school located on the beautiful campus of Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama. But y'all already know that, right? Apparently, y'all are a prime example and product of the Academy's mission statement, which said, Oakwood Adventist Academy exists to provide a spiritual, academic, social, and service-oriented environment to develop, nurture, and affirm DNA students for a lifetime of service to God and humanity. That's some serious DNA. And y'all really got it. Since y'all were here, there seems to have emerged something called a Mustang. Now, I always thought a Mustang was a horse. But then I found out what an OAA Mustang looks like. They tell me it's an independent thinker, values curiosity and critical thinking. A person of integrity understands their obligation to God and mankind. Seeks collaboration and teamwork, committed to excellence in all things. Believe in cultivating tolerance while still standing for personal convictions. A young person rooted in their faith, a person willing to stand for right and truth. Your class was one of the largest in the history of this academy. Did y'all know that? And your total of 44 graduating academy students far surpassed the 29 college seniors that graduated that same year. What's more amazing is the fact that, according to available records, there are 31 of y'all still living. Wow. Y'all must be living right or something. But you know what? Almost none of y'all became what you said you were gonna be. When your name comes up, check it out. Well, I'm gonna stop talking and let y'all peruse through all these dadgum slides. Enjoy. Claudette. Isaac told me to tell you to pay attention.
That wants to be with Fred was.
She did.
She is in the nurse. That's my mom. Cool. Let's see. Simple rest. And no record.
That's my room.
Lynette. Jeanette. Yeah, she is.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Oh my
Very
God.
nice.
Oh, yes.
In
Yes.
planning this, we wanted to make sure not only we recognize our classmates that are gone, and the first time ever, we decided to recognize the spouses of our classmates. And I think it's very important that we never forget.
Amen.
It's very important. And the last thing that we did, we have never done before, was honor our veterans. And it's very important for us to always remember they fought for our country. And at this time, I would like for the members of our class, Donald and Philip, who are veterans, to come forward. Also, we have honorary veterans in our class. That's Calvin and Garland. I'd like for you two to come up as well. The other two veterans are not here. That was Amanda Keys, he was Marine, Jesse, Air Force. These gentlemen here represent, where's Garland? Okay, they represent United States Army. I'd like to give each a hat.
Thank you.
Didn't realize I had to hold the mic.
Thank you.
Served in Vietnam. And I'll put mine on his back. In 2012 at least, Congress enacted a proclamation to honor the 50 years of the Vietnam War. That was a terrible time, and so Congress authorized in this proclamation a lapel pin. And it's going to be my honor to award each of these gentlemen their pin. Even though all of them did not serve in Vietnam, the order reads that if you were in the military during the period of November 1st, 1955 through May 15, 1975, you are entitled to wear this pin. And this pin is a recognition, and one of the most important and painful chapters in our history was Vietnam, most particularly how we treated our troops. You are often blamed for a war you didn't start, when you should have been commended for serving your country with valor. That's from our 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama. That being said, I have for each of these gentlemen the proclamation signed by Barack Obama. And in the spirit of not forgetting, as I close, we have one person who's not with us. We don't want to forget Matthew Green, not with us. He was in the Army. Now, these pins are very important, the lapel pins. And I have these folk flyers for you guys that you can keep and honor and treat them with respect. And it is my pleasure. Thank you for your service and welcome home. That's what the pin looks like. On the back it says, "A grateful nation thanks and honor you, USA Vietnam War commemoration." Thank you, may be seated.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like for the president of our National Alumni Association to please come forward. Dr. Jared Patterson. Dr. Patterson, I would like to give you our package that we gave all of our members, and in this package there are 2 masks that my wife made for you and your wife as well. And in addition to that, what we did in this package, we took all of the published information about the National Association and we made a pamphlet. And in that pamphlet is in their folder so that they can help support our National Association. And I'm hopeful before the end of the night, we may get some pleasure. But, let's see here. Here's a little something, something for you until such time. Thank you. At this time, I'd like for the principal of Oakwood Adventist Academy to come forward. Principal Dent. This class, we adored our principal. But after your speech today, we have found a new principal. Let's give it for our new principal. We also have for you what we gave the president. You get 3 things.
A check too.
Don't be greedy. Not only do you get your badge, your mask, but complimentary from my wife, Social Welfare, Benita. You get 3 masks, bling bling for you. And there's one for you too, Sonny. Now, we don't have blame. I'm very humble to do this. Oftentimes, historically, the A student are the ones that seem to get the scholarships. We don't have anything against A student or the families that are very much able. This one-time scholarship is to take in consideration that solid C student that have drive, that the faculty, the principal sees something in this person.
Right.
And so on behalf of the class of 1962, in this envelope, there's a cashier's check for a one-time scholarship for $6,000.
You can't give a principal a mic. First of all, I'd like to say, Fred, that presentation was the best I've ever seen from any class reunion that you put together. And I need to collaborate with you to see what we can do to not only put that on the Alumni Association website and our website. And I want to be able to show that to all of our students here at Oakwood Adventist Academy. I am so proud that you are proud of your school. I am proud to be able to tell Fred when he was looking for a place to hold this meeting and he said they were going to meet in a hotel room. I said, you've got to come to your school to hold this meeting. And he and Jan have been just nonstop of coming to the building to make sure they have a place to be able to invite you to your school, that we want to make sure that we care for it. I want to also thank, I see Sister Bird here, and I think of her son, Carlton P. Bird, who was instrumental before he left here to make sure this building was finished. And we worked closely together, and I will tell you, I have never worked with anyone, and Sister Bird can corroborate with this with me. I've never seen an individual like Pastor Bird who was committed to Seventh-day Adventist Christian education. No one. And I have completed 51 years in education. So when I see all of you here and you walking in here fast and moving quickly, God has blessed you.
That's right.
That's right.
Class of 62.
That's right.
And I saw a friend except you. I saw you. But at any rate, I am just honored to be able to serve, to be able to say at some point in history that Judy B. Childs Dent was the principal of OAA and who wanted to continue to the legacy that you all have left for us. And I want our young people to know it. And they will know it next week once we show them the video of what can happen. So Fred, I am just proud of what you have done and your team you've done to make sure that Oakwood Adventist Academy is not forgotten.
Amen.
A couple of things. As Garland makes his way up here, Garland, yeah.
You don't know your name?
I'm impressed
Let me turn, brother.
to make a comment as it relates to Principal Dent. In that collaboration with Pastor Bird, it should not go without being known what the Dudley Foundation
That's
did
right.
to make this building complete,
That's right.
in the tune of $1.3 million.
All right.
And I'm so happy. In your package as well, you have doctors, you have business people in your community. I want you to pass that flyer out in that community that you live in and think about Christian education as relates to the Dudley Foundation. And we have the president of the board, Albert Dudley, here with us tonight. So we want to thank you for giving us a new home. Garland missed our presentation.
Don't sit down.
Don't sit down. Garland served in the United States Army. This is the 50-year pin commemorating the end of the Vietnam War. If you served in the military, you are entitled to wear that. And here's the proclamation by President Barack Obama.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We have to make a little change in the program as we get ready. Isaac Palmer could not be here, but we're going to Zoom him in after Valeria and Jeanette say a few words. That will segue into what Isaac has to say, and then the party can get started of our normal 62 class reunion. Now with these two ladies, you'll see why I'm so humble.
Jan, you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
I don't need that.
No, you have to.
For the people up.
Do that.
Oh. Because I was going to say, I really don't need a microphone. I have a very big voice. First of all, I would like to say that the presentation, first of all, the prayer that Paul Brantley, let's just give kudos. I believe in giving people credit where credit is due. Paul Brantley prayed a prayer. I couldn't even close my eyes, Paul. It was so profound. It was wonderful. I would love to have a copy of that prayer because you called all of our names in it and you were specific. It was beautiful. Fred Parker, this presentation would have cost thousands of dollars.
Right.
You all know about technology. That would have cost a mint to put together. It was professional, it was crisp, it was just fantastic. Fred Parker works like you wouldn't believe. Everybody in the class knows. He emails us constantly. I told Carol Ann today, I said, Fred loves his class more than any of us. I don't know if that's true or not, Fred.
Well, there's one exception.
Who's the exception?
We all know who. Claudia.
No. Fred, so this entire evening, if it were not for Fred, we wouldn't be here. He has communicated, and this is not to undermine anyone else, because we're a team, but he has communicated with us on a regular basis, and he's been working. And Fred, I said, Fred, you married up, darling. Because Fred's wife, they're a team. You see all of this? You see all of this that we have in these bags? How much have we paid for that?
No.
Fred and Benita printed all of that. All of that color printing.
Yes.
So this is a first quality reunion, folks.
Yes.
Put together by Fred and Benita. Jan did a lot. She did the food. So Fred and Benita have come out of their pockets. Now, a lot of people, let me say this in a tactful way, because sometimes I'm not tactful, I'll tell you. when it comes to money, it's touchy. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like to ask people for money, because I think if you haven't paid, you ought to pay. So if you haven't paid $40, I'm the person to send. Please. It's going back to Fred Parker and Bonita, and it's going to Jan, because she took the money out of her pocket for the food. None of it is going to any of us. So that's all I have to say about that. Now, Fred Parker, this is just a small token of our love for you. We can never repay you and your wife for what you've done. I really want to read the card, but it's a lot of stuff in it that might fall out. So I'm not going to read the card, but I just want to say we love you with all of our hearts. We thank you for everything you've done. I'm going to give you this. I have one more. Now I have something really phenomenal to show you. It's the Forbes magazine cover. And it said, Forbes, Oakwood's Who's Who. Who's who of all who's who. The best in the business. And you see Fred Parker on the cover. All right, it says, I have to take my glasses off to read. I need my glasses for distance. Mogul manager, extraordinary organizer, Fred W. Parker Jr. At 78, he tackled the mind-boggling, time-consuming task of organizing his 60-year high school class into shape. Yes. Now, we go inside. Bonita and I Bonita put this together. Isn't it fabulous? Isn't this fabulous? Yes. All right, so Bonita asked me to get some pointers. No, not dirt. No, there's no dirt on the Parkers. She asked me to get some characteristics. So I have top 20 characteristics of FWP from the class of 62. So, all around great guy, passionate, thoughtful, wise, genuine, dedicated to our class, detail-oriented, friendly, dependable, awesome leadership, very supportive, loving, generous in helping others, servant leader, effective organizer, let's see, kind, passionate, I hope I didn't leave anything, thoughtful. Anyway, I looked on the back and there's a really cute cartoon. And there are people lining up for reunions. So this says OCA, or OAA as it's now known. Why he hates high school reunions. There are 4 places for you to sign up. One is the cool guys, the jocks, and the cheerleaders. One is the dweebs. One is the geeks, and then is other. And at the beginning of the line it says, trust me, you're not registered on this list. And that is the cool guys, the jocks, and the cheerleaders. Then there's some pictures of our classmates on here. Bonita, this is fantastic. If you would like one of these, I have them. I just happen to have them in a packet. So if you would like one, you may see me later, and I will give you one. That is all I have to say. I am on cloud 9 being here with all of you, because I love people, and people give me energy. So, as I said before, you haven't seen me about the $40, you may see me. I yield the floor to Jan.
I can't follow that. I think everything has been said, and we are all excited, grateful. It has been stated again and again for those benefactors who made it possible for us to be in such a nice building, for an opportunity to come together after 60 years. I want to notice Daniel and his lovely daughter, who made sure her dad got here. And we are grateful that each of us had the steam, the ability, and the mobility to be here so that we can share together this momentous and this warm fellowship. Now, I had not planned to say this, but I want to say it quickly. We had a different experience as members of a class who were part of a boarding academy. We are now in a day academy. That's a wonderful experience. And as I was sitting in the office there watching the students as they were getting ready to leave, I couldn't keep my eyes off of them thinking, look at these wonderful young people that the Lord has brought here. What a wonderful future they have. And my classmate was sitting there, he said, yeah, and remember when we were here, we worked and we got ourselves up. There wasn't anybody lining up to pick us up after school. We had to make sure we did these things ourselves. And give yourselves a hand. You are an exceptional group. Yes, those that are here are special. Yes, we pray for them. Yes, we thank God for them and for the building in which they are learning and growing. But importantly, we thank God for the opportunity that we've had to reflect and grow personally as a result of His blessings flowing through us and out to others. With that, Paul, did you want to say a word?
I would like to say,
Is this working?
It's going for the recording.
Oh, okay.
we would like to thank you, Jan, and Garland for taking care of the world's greatest high school sponsor, Dr. Ernest E. Rogers.
Amen.
Thank you, Paul. And I will not hesitate to say what a blessing it has been for each of you to be part of the family. And one of the things that I do recall, we used to gather in Henderson Hall. Your mom was there. And we used to study together because we cared about all of us achieving. And even when we were on the memorabilia table, you'll see sweaters there, our sweater there.
Yes.
Donald was treasurer. Nobody knows who paid for what. But one of the things we started doing, and I remember Carol coordinating this, in our junior year, selling popcorn and burgers for money to go into the treasury so that when we walked out alumni weekend of 1962, we were struck. 45 strong. Everyone had a sweater. And in those days, that sweater cost a mint. Parents were already spending money to us make sure we were able to be here. And there were no student loans for high academy students. So, I mean, that was all parent power. And to ask on top of that to get these expensive sweaters, we together,
Yes.
praise the Lord, said, we're putting money into the treasury. Donald ordered the sweaters. Nobody knows who was beneficiary of our class, or sweat and blood, or love. All of it was love. So we're grateful for that, and we'll have a repast now. Let us just bow our heads. Lord, thank you for this food we're about to partake of. Help it to strengthen and nourish us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. As you, right before, I didn't get a chance to get with Jan. Before you go for the repast, first thing, in your book, there is a copy of the receipt for a sweater.
Yeah.
The sweater costs $37.20. And that was a lot of money. But we're getting ready to zoom in Isaac. So hopefully you can stay by for a few minutes for him, and then we can have refreshments, and we probably can do, as we do. Yeah. Give me a minute, hopefully. And I still say pay attention, Claudette.
You need to put that mic up there.
Ongoing view, man.
Just put it up there.
Sure.
Yeah, just on the table. Yeah.
No, that's not right. That's bread. Isaac's coming.
Why don't you go for have refreshments? I'll get him on.
You can just go out that door, help yourself. You can, Principal Dan, is it all right if they get refreshments and sit in here while we're waiting for the Zoom to come on? I wasn't sure whether we had to stay out there with refreshments. I think Judy said it was all right. Just go out, get whatever you want, come back in here and eat it while we wait for Isaac.
Ain't no quicker than that. That's it, man. That's top speed.
I've seen professionals that and we paid thousands of dollars. I mean, that's beautiful.
Everything's on, all the pictures from the day of okay, yeah, so you tell me what he tells what he wants to do. There's no problem.
That's exactly, that's what he asked me.
Yeah, everything's online now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, on the YouTube, it'll be online.
Yeah, the link he sent you, yes, all the pictures I took today are already online. Even the presentation right now is online. It's still on live right now. If you want a video, I would say that. That's what I said. There's no problem with the video.
So you give us a copy of it, email it to us or something?
Tell Fred what to do and I'll do it. Like I said, I've got all the pictures online from the day, the videos online from the day, so all you gotta do is just go on there and look at it right now.
When you say on, we do YouTube or?
It's on a YouTube channel, but you can go right to the link he sent you.
Oh, okay.
I sent out a link last night where everything is.
Okay, okay.
So you can look on there and see everything.
Okay.
Right now. It's still running right now. You can all the pictures, video from the awards thing, everything will be on there. Everything will be on everything is on from the day. Okay. You know, I'm going to take the video today because I recorded the presentation at the awards thing. Everything is, all the pictures are already on there.
Is there a link direct to it?
Yeah. Let me show you.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, I used to come here when I did camp meetings back 20 years. I've been doing this before they started President Henry. And I had got sick and I'm in dialysis now, so I can't stop. But I traveled around the world recording everybody from E. Cleveland to Walter Pearson to, that's all I ever did.
I used to do this at church.
What church you go to?
Have you heard of Salem Southern Adventist Church in Pompano Beach, Florida?
Never been there.
I used to do this at church.
I did it here for years before they had a video camera.
Yeah, I believe you.
I've been doing it.
I started with the, I think I put the old VHS cameras.
Yep.
Yeah.
This right here is the, it's on my, because I have a Adventist radio station also. And it's all on the same, this is all, that's where it is right now. If I push that and start, these are all the pictures from the day. And I took church service on, and then you can go right up here at the top and you can just play the video. And I can send it. You want me to send it to you? I can.
Okay, send it to me.
But you can check out the radio station too. Yeah, Adventist radio station plays music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and all the sermons. You know, I got a wide variety of sermons.
What made you interested in getting a ticket?
It wasn't me, it was God. God laid this on my heart. It wasn't something that Chick chose to do. Because I quit my job 20-some years ago. That's all I've ever did was travel around the country. And to make this out of your living,
It takes a lot.
it's a fool or it wasn't nobody but
Because
God.
people always want something for free or for nothing. They want you to do this one that.
No,
But you
I-
don't think that put it this way, some folks think you're just supposed to do it anyway.
Yeah.